Hey there, listeners, and welcome back to Fear and Flame Podcast. I'm Brooklyn.
I'm Mace.
I'm Wyatt.
And today we're covering Unknowns Underground. So strike a match, light a candle, and settle in. This one is sure to ignite some fear.
Yay! Episode 5.
We're already to 5.
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
We only started this 6 months ago? We're doing great.
One episode a month.
Yeah.
That's a good start. So I'm going to start today with an r/no sleep story. We have horrorfan_9 as the username. This is called I Explore Caves for a Living. I Think I Found Hell. Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stories.
Are you guys super familiar with caves? I know we've been to a couple in Oklahoma and Missouri and stuff, but yeah, Minecraft, it's good.
I mean,
good start.
I remember going into a cave when I was probably 8 or 9 or something like that, and it looked like it went down to hell. It was terrible. Yeah. The steps were all slippery. I had to hold on to my dad the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I've been traumatized ever since, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this episode.
Re-exploring some of your trauma.
Maybe not as bad as you guys', but we'll see.
All right, here we go. I heard the rumors, a cave deep in the mountains where people had died, and whispers about something unnatural. It was the kind of story you'd laugh off at a bar, but I wasn't laughing. I was in between jobs with plenty of time to kill, and these sorts of stories always drew me in like a moth to a flame. After a few drinks and persistent pestering, the drunk at the bar gave me an approximate location. The next morning, armed with curiosity and an unhealthy dose of arrogance, I drove up to the remote spot he'd described. The closer I got, the more my confidence wavered. Abandoned cars lined the roadside, rusted, gutted skeletons of vehicles left to rot. Their eerie stillness gnawed at me. Whose cars were these? Were they the victims? I should have turned back then. Eventually, I found it. A jagged tear in the mountainside, a black maw that seemed to exhale cold dread. As if to confirm my fears, scrawled next to the entrance were the chilling words, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here." My stomach churned. Every fiber of my being screamed at me to leave, to get back in my car and drive as far away as possible. But something about the cave pulled at me, an unseen force that whispered promises of dark secrets. Against all sense, I entered.
It's another day in Detroit, baby. That's I
always love everywhere you go, somebody spray painted a little, "Oh, if you come in here, you're going to die." Just everybody has to make it more.
Abandon all hope.
Yeah.
That's from Dante's Inferno.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's above. I think it's above the gates of hell.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy was like, "Yep,
I'm gonna go ahead and go."
Sounds great, guys. That's a real good one. I think
there's something caves are so dangerous without the eerie, creepy factor. Literally so dangerous. There's nothing in me that just wants to be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go explore a cave alone by myself."
I think it's a great idea. I think you're sitting there and you literally are
on the Patreon.
You're on the Patreon.
We're gonna strap a camera to you, GoPro. We're gonna let you explore a cave by yourself. Pick a cave.
What are we talking about? No, but I think if I were to ever go on a trail or any form of if I'm on a mountain especially, and there is just lines of rusted, chopped up cars lining the side of the road, because these people also went up there and didn't come back. And I'm like,
why is no one towing these vehicles away?
This is the one. I don't want to get got either.
Too close to the cave.
Yeah. I mean, and this guy's like, "Yep, I think I'm going to listen to the old drunk man at the bar. It's a great plan. We're going to the caves, baby." Who does that?
No one.
Who does that?
And there's people that do.
That's the smartest splunker in the world. I mean... What is going on?
I don't think this guy even knows anything about being in a cave, but we're going to find out.
We're going to wing it.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
We're going to wing it.
The entrance was tight enough that anyone without caving experience would have turned back immediately. But at 5'8" and 117 pounds, I'd always been well suited for this kind of thing. I squeezed and twisted through the narrow passageways for hours, my flashlight casting eerie shadows on the damp, jagged walls. 3 hours in, I found a small cavern, just large enough to stretch and breathe. I took a break and inspected my surroundings. That's when I saw the etchings. Names scratched into the walls, alongside crude, disturbing drawings. One drawing in particular froze me. A crude map of the cave system. It depicted a figure crawling through a tunnel. Behind him, emerging from flames, were other figures. They were twisted, monstrous. My heart thudded painfully in my chest. I should have turned back, but the same pull that lured me here kept me moving forward, despite the sweat pulling at my temples and the dread clawing at my gut. The next tunnel was even tighter, barely larger than a sheet of paper. I wriggled through inch by inch, the rough stone scraping against my arms and legs. About 45 minutes in, I froze. A pair of soles stared back at me. Shoes attached to a long, dead body wedged in the narrow tunnel.
Awesome.
3 hours,
That's
one
an
way.
insane amount.
3 hours,
to
one
go.
way?
This dude's 5'8", 117.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like? I don't think I've ever seen
I'm
117.
not jealous of the 5'8".
I'm not just 117. This dude, I think. I mean, God, if anybody's gonna squeeze through here, this guy's gonna make it. I
Yeah.
know.
He said a little bit wider than a sheet of paper. I don't know very many people that can squeeze through that.
This fella should
Yeah.
go on Vogue. I don't know what he's doing. That's over there. Damn.
Panic surged through me. I had to get out. Fast. I began to shimmy backward, but then I heard it. Something was crawling toward me. The sound was faint at first. The soft scrape of nails or claws against stone. My breath hitched. "Hey!" I called out, trying to steady my voice. "Stop! There's a body blocking the way. I can't get through." The scraping sound quickened. Frantic, desperate, I had no choice. I pushed forward. The dead man's remains were brittle, his bones splintering as I clawed my way over him, the sharp edges cutting into my skin. Behind me, the crawling grew louder, closer. Then came the sound of cracking bones. Whatever was following me was eating its way through the corpse. Adrenaline surged and I scrambled forward, emerging into a massive cavern just as the tunnel behind me belched out a final chilling crunch. I wasted no time. I piled rocks, equipment, anything I could find against the crevice to block whatever was behind me. My heart was pounding, my chest heaving, but as I turned to inspect the cavern, a new horror awaited me. It was impossibly large, like the interior of a football stadium. The air was stiflingly hot and the walls seemed to shimmer with heat. And then I heard them. Voices. Familiar voices, they whispered my name, taunting me, reminding me of things I'd buried long ago. My father's voice stood out among them, a cruel sneer echoing in my ears. The things he'd done, the way he'd broken me as a child, it all came rushing back, raw and fresh. I tried to block it out, but then I saw it. The source of the heat, of the whispers. A pit of fire burned in the center of the cavern, its flames licking at the darkness above. From its depths, figures crawled, clawing their way upward. Their faces were twisted in agony, but some were disturbingly familiar. People I'd known. People I'd wronged. And then I saw him. My father. His face warped with hatred and rage, clawing his way toward me. "Boy," he roared, "where are you going? You're mine now. You'll stay with me forever." I ran. I found another crevice smaller than the last and threw myself into it. The wall scraped my skin raw as I crawled, desperate to escape the screams, the heat, the thing that had once been my father. The tunnel began to shake violently, rocks splintering and falling as if the mountain itself wanted to trap me. Behind me, the voice grew louder, angrier. "You can't escape me, boy!" I clawed my way forward, ignoring the searing pain in my arms and legs, until finally I saw light. I pulled myself out of the tunnel, gasping, sobbing, and fell into the grass. My car was right there, parked 20 feet from the cave entrance. I didn't look back. I drove straight into town and never told anyone what I'd seen. I gave up caving after that. Whatever I found in that cave wasn't meant to be found. And I'll be danged if I ever go looking for something like that again.
All right. I didn't even.
Probably a gas leak in the cave. Little low oxygen.
Natural gas. Dude probably stopped he was in there 3 hours. He got stopped 5 minutes. He
Yeah.
probably just passed out. No, that or he died and went to hell. I have no idea. No clue. But yeah, that's,
There's no way by myself. For 3 hours one
Yeah,
way
just
into a cave.
keep it going. Well, because that's the thing is you can't turn back, right? Am I wrong about that? Like you can't just like crawl
I'm
back.
sure you could probably go. Yeah,
If you can get
you'd
yourself
probably go
turned
back,
around.
But
I bet it-
man,
It depends on how tight of a space you're in. You might have to get to another opening like an open cavern before you can
Yeah.
turn around to go back. But surely there's an opening big enough for him to turn before 3 hours in.
Yeah.
football stadiums, huh? He was.
Mm-hmm.
and
There's
maybe-
something interesting about caves being like the gate to hell. You know, there's some
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the deepest part of the earth.
That was what was
Yeah.
literally above the gates of hell. In
Yeah.
Dante's Inferno.
And his title is I explore caves for a living, and I think I found hell.
Oh, yeah.
And so that is the purpose. But it's just interesting that he was like, I saw a bunch of people I knew, and my dad was there, and
I wonder
Just-
how he makes money exploring these caves.
he's without a job right now, so it was supposed to be a
Man,
hobby.
he's jobless and fatherless. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
this dude is not doing good. Dude should probably stop smoking MDMA before.
Yeah, the
That may help with what happened there.
full
but I
eye
don't-
dropper LSD is probably
Yeah.
not the way to go before you're.
Before you hit the caves,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it myself. That's a lie. I just think it's probably not a good idea. That's a cool story though. Which in No Sleep, I guess. So this dude, which it's supposed to be like real life, right?
Yeah.
Or when they make it kind of
Mm-hmm.
where it's possible.
Yeah, like I believe they're supposed to be kind of.
Yeah.
Because people always in the comments are like, I'm so sorry that happened to
Yeah.
you. Are you okay now?
God, I wish we could see the comments on that.
I can't remember what they were. This is a newer one, I think. I don't think this one's
Really?
super old. Yeah. Probably a few months or close to a year, possibly,
I feel
but
like I've heard something like that before. On one of these
probably.
little horror stories. Maybe just something similar. I don't know.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah. Well, if you guys haven't guessed, today we're talking about the mysteries of tunnels and caves. This was a topic picked by Wyatt, so we're going into a little bit of tunnels and caves.
All right.
So I have quite a few little things that we can go into. The first of which, these are mostly all conspiracies. So I kind of went into a bunch of conspiracy theories that we can go over. The first of which is Hollow Earth and Agartha. I think that's how you say it. So Agartha. In 1692, astronomer Edmund Halley proposed that the Earth was hollow, a hollow shell. Basically, it had lots of layers, possibly even an atmosphere inside. He thought that the northern lights were caused by light escaping from this inner world.
I mean, who am I to question a guy that's got a comet named after him? Do I have a comet?
Yeah.
No.
It is named after him. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would he lie?
yeah. Well, when you don't know the
I
truth.
think he was just guessing.
Nah.
So, the early 1800s, John Cleve Sims was an American war veteran who believed in the hollow earth. He was very confident that the earth had massive openings at the poles, and he campaigned for expeditions to prove it. Despite public ridicule, Congress actually considered funding his campaign
Heck yeah.
to go see if at the poles if you can go into the openings.
We've spent money on stupider things.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no doubt about
I
it.
don't think they ended up actually doing it unless it's
I say send them.
swept under the rug.
I mean,
Let's go to the polls.
I'd like to know too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the 1800s. What else do we have to do?
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. Not like we had a civil war or any big issues going on in the
No,
country at the
no.
Let them
time.
head out.
Send the troops.
Might figure something out. We may get an advantage on this stuff. I don't know.
We might be able to go through the middle.
Yeah, find a little path around. Go ahead and ambush. I don't know. Recruit the
Mole
demons of the
people.
underworld. Sit here and help us out.
You never know. Agartha is the name given to the mystical inner kingdom. This idea gained traction in the 19th and 20th centuries with people, so theosophists, like Helena Blavatsky. Blavatsky.
Blavatsky.
I'm the worst
Blavatsky.
person to be trying to say things. Helena Blavatsky, who connected it to the lost continent of Lemuria and described it as a utopia inhabited by spiritually advanced beings. The term Lemuria was coined in the 1860s by a zoologist, Philip Slater, to explain the puzzling distribution of lemur fossils in India, Madagascar, and Africa, but not in the Middle East. So they thought, oh, why are these fossils in these weird places? He hypothesized that the landmass that is lost once connected these regions together, hence the name Lemuria, similar to Atlantis. So the thought is like it's a lost continent that disappeared, and
Yeah.
Why, of course. I mean,
just like
how could
Atlantis.
we be so
Somehow
foolish?
it went under the ocean and
Yes,
got to the center
it
of the
sunk.
earth.
Atlantis has a
Of
better
course. You know how
ring
heavy
to it,
land
though.
is?
Like Atlantis sounds better to me than Lemuria. That sounds like a disease.
I think I've played.
Like, oh, I have
I've been
malaria
there in
and
Skyrim.
Lemuria.
I love 1800 signs. This stuff is the best.
You can just
You throw
Spitball
a rock in the
and-
water, where's it gonna go? Goes down. Okay.
I can tell you right now.
You slap that bad boy on the ocean, you know where it's going.
Down.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
That's fair. I mean, it's common sense,
everybody
really.
knows that water probably goes to the center too. I mean, come on. Now.
Yeah. It goes down one side of the earth, right through the other.
Where? How else? Where's the lemurs?
Exactly.
Where are the lemurs? You gonna give me?
Why are there lemurs in all these places except for the Middle East?
I mean, it's not like it's a desert or nothing. I mean, lemurs love the desert. They love it.
I've seen so many lemurs in the
Yeah, all the
desert.
time.
Arizona, lemurs.
Anytime I've been to Dubai, lemurs and
Fish.
women's rights. You can't find neither of them.
Oh my god.
Neither of them are there. I don't know what the deal is.
Admiral
boy.
Richard Byrd. In the 1940s, Byrd flew exploratory missions over both poles. So this is another conspiracy. He claims that he wrote secret diaries describing a warm, lush land inside the earth, inhabited by giants and UFOs. The diary has never been authenticated, but it's become foundation to the modern Hollow Earth mythos.
I've heard that conspiracy about UFOs coming from the core. Mm-hmm. I don't remember anything behind it, but I do know I've heard of people thinking.
Now,
I want to believe so badly that UFOs are time machines. It is people time traveling
really?
from the future to here.
And they want to come here?
I
I
mean,
don't get it.
Of all places?
why not?
You've
I
got
mean, if
the
they're from the
whole-
future and they
But
want
what
to
do
see,
they
like,
do?
oh, how jacked up was stuff back then.
They're just watching.
Being
you think.
nosy.
They're just like, well, so
Well,
this is
listen.
this right here is where it went wrong.
This is where my theory started. Was the other day at work we were watching Meet the Robinsons. Mm-hmm. You see that kid? He has his time travel
One of those
machine. He goes back to
electric
meet his dad and stuff.
Definitely.
Yes. So why not? Why not are UFOs just time machines?
Are they alien time machines or are they just
No,
regular time
just
machines?
regular.
Just
They're humans.
Human time machines,
Yeah.
maybe. I feel like there would be a lot more interaction if it was just us looking at ourselves in the past.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be
I don't know. Have you guys ever watched Back to the Future?
Yeah, it could be a
It'll
Back to
mess
the
you
Future
up.
situation.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they can interact. I don't know, but I mean, I tell you what. I mean, they couldn't give us like a warning about anything. I mean, been around. I mean, hey man,
Yeah.
They can't affect the past though. Mess up the future. They might not
buildings
have
are
time
kinda tall.
machines.
Maybe I'll need to make them less, plane height.
Maybe just the Powerball numbers. That'd be fine too.
Just give me some winning numbers.
Said maybe you guys need to put old John. Maybe put him in a coop today. He don't need to be out of the open like that.
Yeah. Hard
I
top.
don't know.
If anyone knew about time machines, it was John F. Kennedy,
Probably.
and he
Probably.
got. So
Probably that, or maybe he just wanted to defund the CIA.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
moving along. Let's not get
Maybe
too
we need to do
conspiratorial.
that, too.
There was
I
a-
don't know.
A movie, wasn't there? Journey to the Center of the Earth or something
Yeah.
like that. I think that was a decent
Sounds
movie
kinda
on
familiar.
that subject.
Yeah.
On the Garthia or whatever. That kind of.
Agartha and stuff.
Yeah, like there's.
Did they get shot out of a volcano at some point? Or am
I think so.
Is it a real life or is it cartoon?
No,
It's real.
It's
Oh, okay.
real as hell.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's not
It's a
real
docuseries.
life, but I meant like, is it?
I believe it was The Rock in that one, or
I
was it
think
mine? Yeah, I think the
so.
one. I think Dwayne Johnson went to the center of the earth and he found
I think it was
He would.
The Rock.
the mystical people.
Nice. Oh, there were people there.
Of course,
Was there?
I don't know.
I don't think there was people there. I
Just
think there was just big
land.
animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were hiding, I think.
I think there was a person, the kid's grandpa was there.
Is that where all the dinosaurs went?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Probably to hide
Where
from
else
the
did they go?
meteors. I mean,
if they're not
Exactly.
here.
I mean, we have some fossils, but...
Yeah.
the fossils are the ones trying to crawl out,
Yeah.
make it back to the surface.
Oh, true. And they don't make it all the way. That makes a lot more sense.
Yep. I've been telling you.
Okay.
We're gonna
I've
make
been telling you.
we're gonna make these underground people real mad when we take all their oil. Okay, they're not gonna be happy. Okay, when it dries up, we're gonna have some issues.
Yeah.
They're going to be flying their UFOs from the
Yep.
poles to come and get
It's
us.
gonna be bad news.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna get mythic peopled.
Darling in the Franks.
It's not good. Okay.
Our next topic is Utah Caves and Skinwalker Ranch. So in northeastern Utah, it's known for very beautiful land, very stark. There's a lot of native history there, and at the heart of it is the Skinwalker Ranch, so kind of in the middle parts of Utah with some of their caves. It's 512 acres, known for paranormal activity, which I know you guys probably already know about Skinwalker Ranch, but before the ranch was a hot spot for all the speculation, it was sacred ground for the Ute tribe and feared due to legends of the Skinwalker. If you don't know what a Skinwalker is, it's the powerful Navajo witch that can shapeshift into animals, and it's a haunted ground now. It's cursed ground. The Utes wouldn't even set foot on the land after the Navajo allegedly cursed it during a conflict. So they don't want any part with it.
Yeah.
When the Sherman family bought the ranch in 1994, they were bombarded with strange phenomenon. So glowing blue orbs, invisible creatures tearing through livestock pens, beings stepping out of portals. Kind of like, they didn't describe what the beings were, but people or things, cryptids, and equipment that malfunctioned whenever a camera pointed towards certain parts of the property. So in 1996, a billionaire by the name of Robert Bigelow bought the ranch and funded scientific studies through NIDS and later BASS programs with ties to the Pentagon's real-life UFO investigation project, which is the AATIP, which is pretty well known about now.
Yeah.
He explored a small cave in a remote part of the ranch. So there's a little cave in a part of the ranch, and whenever he went in, he said that he felt very disoriented and anxious, like he was being watched the whole time. So when he tried to return to the same spot with investigators, the cave had disappeared. It was gone, like it never existed. They couldn't find the opening. Some theorized it could have been a camouflaged entrance or a dimensional anomaly.
Yeah.
Other people believe that he just
man forgot
misremembered.
where the cave
He
was,
misremembered the location.
Yeah.
He's like,
That'd be my
it's
guess.
right there. Oh my god.
That would be my guess.
On my 512 acre ranch. I know every inch. It was right there, guys. I promise.
Yeah.
Some
I'm just
people
an
think that
8-year-old man. I'm
he just
pretty
made it
sharp.
up. So,
May have.
but basically, just a lot of Utah caves. People have a lot of theories around them, but obviously, Skinwalker Ranch, just because it is what it is, they're going to say something's going on with that cave.
Yeah.
You know how much money that guy makes off of saying that something's going on in that cave? Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
The cave that
Skinwalker
disappears.
Ranch has been covered over and over again. I think
So
it's had a
many
couple
times.
So
TV
much
shows and
So much money has been poured into investigating it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, how else is the government gonna like wash their money? How else is the government going to legitimately investigate?
Yeah.
we got to get down to it. We got to find
We've
what's
gotta
going
figure
on
out
here.
where the death cave is.
Yep.
You know,
Disappearing cave.
this guy just forgot where the cave was.
Yeah, 100%. If it was even there in the first place.
It's gotta be
If it was there in the first
Yep.
place. Or it could have been a small entrance and a rock rolled down the hill and blocked it. There's no telling.
Guys, trust. Please, the cave was right there. The cave was right there. Please give us more funding to
You
go.
see the X I put on the ground? I marked the X to know this is where it was.
Please, give me more government funding.
Yeah.
Next is called the Shaver Mystery. I've never actually heard of this, but in 1943, pulp magazine Amazing Stories received a letter from a man named Richard Shaver. He claimed he'd stumbled upon an ancient language, what he called Main Tong. He revealed hidden truths in every human language. That alone was weird enough, but he said that he had spent time in massive underground cities where he encountered two alien descended races. So the Taros, which were the peaceful, highly intelligent beings. So there's the Taros and then the Daros, or the D-Ros, maybe. It's probably D-Ros. Twisted, sadistic mutants who hijacked ancient alien tech to torment surface dwellers with ray machines. So,
What
the
year
T-Ros, this was in 1943. So T-Ros are good, D-Ros bad.
So that just literally unironically sounds like the lore behind the Elder Scrolls. I mean, just in a way.
T-Rose.
This guy would have, I think him and Joseph Smith would have been really good friends.
Probably.
I think they would have been real tight.
Quite creative.
Like, man, that's a good idea. Yeah.
He
like
said that the Deros were the source of a lot of human suffering. They would cause accidents, mental illnesses, global wars. Everything they would do was from their hidden layers deep underground.
That's why I lost my job. The damn D-Rose.
Yeah.
At it again.
Editor Ray
We gotta get
Palmer,
that Hollywood.
he published the story in 1945 as I Remember Lemuria, and the response was explosive. So he used Lemuria as part of his belief. Lemuria is where the T-Rose and D-Rose, or however you want to say it, lived. The response was explosive. Tens of thousands of people wrote in claiming similar experiences or memories, feelings that were corroborated with his tale. Shaver always swore that it was true. He believed the elder race and alien species fled Earth after our sun began to damage them, leaving behind their tech in caverns now overrun by mad remnants. Skeptics say it was a classic sci-fi with a touch of schizophrenia.
I'd say more than a touch. I don't know about them leaving because our sun was damaging them, but they were living underground.
Yeah.
They're like, well, better get out of here.
It's getting pretty hot outside.
The D-Rose and the T-Rose stayed, though.
I know that we've got this advanced technology, but I think about 2/3 of us need to just stay underground and not leave at all. Man, I would love. There's got to been one dude back in the 10,000 roughly, 100% was like, Judge, listen. I know murder's bad. We all know this. But it wasn't really me that did it, dude. It's the Duros. These Duros are at it again. Okay? This guy, it wasn't me. It was the Duros. All right? They're trying to frame me.
Yep.
Okay?
They've made my life miserable.
Yeah. And man, they really need to stop adding new characters to my Disney movies. They're just making everything actually.
It very much is a play on
There's
angels
been
and
enough
demons.
live action remakes.
Like, it is a play on angels and demons. Like, the T-Ros are angels or your guardian angel or something. The D-Ros are these
But they've got
demons that are
space
causing.
lasers.
But they have laser guns.
Yeah.
The space rays.
We should have got this dude into
Office?
writing.
Oh, I was going to say into office. He should have been our
but-
president.
And
This
some
would be
fantasy
good.
writing.
This fella would have made a really good Star Wars. I mean,
if he was on Reddit right now, the responses he would get.
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, what do the ray guns look like?
What did the ray guns? Are the aliens hot?
Are they human-like? Would they
What's
be
their
awake,
anatomy like?
Yeah,
So, would you say a D-Ro is like a bad boy?
yeah. It's exactly like,
He probably drives like a 79 Trans Am.
Euros, are they?
Yeah, if it's below 6 foot, I don't need to hear anything
Yeah.
else.
We get some photographs, please. Sure. Maybe some fan art. There's a few things I'd like to know about these.
You want to move on to our next underground
go
species?
ahead.
Oh, there's a new one. There's another one.
These ones are well known and well believed. These are the reptilians.
Oh, yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
Here we go.
So cold-blooded, calculating, ancient. The
Just like my
reptilian,
ex-wife.
The in-laws.
They're-
Cold-blooded.
they're called
ancient.
they're called reptilian or draconian. I think I've heard both. Draconian. It sits at a crossroads of conspiracy, mythology, and fear. While modern reptilian lore owes a lot to David Icke, who rose to prominence in the 1990s claiming that elite bloodlines from the British monarchy to U.S. presidents were actually shape-shifting reptiles in disguise. The roots go a lot deeper than that. So serpent beings who live underground and sometimes interact with humans. In Mesoamerican tradition,
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl
or Coda. He was Spanish, wasn't he? Or
Oh, this is a real guy?
Was he
Oh, my
named?
bad.
was a feathered serpent god who brought knowledge and civilization. So he's like an actual, in Mesoamerican tradition.
Okay.
Reptilians in conspiracy lore are said to live underneath the ground, so in bases, especially beneath New Mexico and Nevada. So they say Dulce, New Mexico is one of their main hotspots. They manipulate global politics and media, and they feed off fear, energy, or even blood. Some even tie them to the Deros of the Shaver mystery, suggesting they're not just metaphorical, but literally beneath us. Researchers like Phil Schneider, who died under suspicious circumstances, claims to have encountered them firsthand during the construction of the underground military facilities. He described a firefight with these beings that left him with severe injuries and then a warning to humanity. So I'm going to go into the story later on.
So you guys are packing too? God,
Yeah,
this is a
they
threat.
have the laser guns, I'm pretty sure. Phil Schneider's encounter with reptilian extraterrestrials, according to his claims, occurred in 1979 at the Dulce Base in New Mexico. A secret underground military facility, Schneider was an engineer and a geologist working on a drilling project when his team accidentally breached an underground cavern inhabited by the reptilian aliens. So, during this encounter, Schneider described a violent shootout between the military personnel and the reptiles, who were reportedly 7 to 8 feet tall, with scaly skin and red eyes. He claimed the reptiles were very advanced in their weaponry, including laser guns.
Laser gun!
And several people were injured or killed during the confrontation. Schneider himself was allegedly wounded in the abdomen by a laser weapon. He stated that the military later covered up the incident, with many people involved mysteriously disappearing.
Of course.
So I don't know how hot a laser from a laser gun has to be. But his insides had to have been cooking.
Yeah.
Dude. If he got hit in the abdomen,
He claims that the U.S. government was collaborating with the alien species,
Oh.
particularly reptilians at a secret underground base. So they were working with them low-key. His story became widely known in conspiracy circles, but it's regarded as highly speculative, lacking a lot of evidence, and remains controversial.
What?
I think these guys should, like, we could all get along. These guys would make really good lawyers, I think. It sounds like. I mean, they're
7 to 8
cold-blooded.
feet, scaly.
Yeah. Uncaring, they want fear, blood. I mean, these people. I don't know why we can't integrate them into society.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot.
I mean, it's because they're more advanced than us. Whenever we catch up to them and we have our laser guns,
we would all, like, I mean,
just kidding. We definitely could have laser guns if we
We
wanted.
could
But
never-
If we just keep fracking, we'll take care of them at one point.
we would never be able to play basketball again. The
That's
NBA
true.
would just be full of Argonians the whole time.
anyways,
Left.
the reptiles is one of my favorite conspiracy theories because it ties into the Illuminati and all the fun stuff with celebrities and the government and
Hillary
politics and
Clinton eating that fly live on television.
Beyonce, all
You
the
know.
crazy stuff.
Who says I'm not one?
Exactly. How tall
That's
are you?
Let's not talk about that. Don't forget to subscribe.
Like, subscribe, ring that bell.
We need fear and blood.
No. Next is the Mammoth Cave, the subterranean labyrinth. Kentucky's Mammoth Cave isn't just big. It's the largest known
There's
cave
not a
system on
mammoth.
So there's 420 miles of explored passageways
Wow.
in the Mammoth Cave, and that's the explored passageways. There could be so many that have never been explored. So native legend said that the cave was sacred. The Cherokee, Shawnee, and Yuki tribes all have stories of spirits and strange beings connected to its endless tunnels. In the 1800s, enslaved people were forced to mine saltpeter there, and some became expert guides, navigating the impossible maze by memory alone. But there are darker stories, too, of people who entered the cave and never returned. Explorers have spoken of whispers, phantom footsteps, and the feeling of being watched from the shadows. Some believe the cave connects to deeper realms, perhaps even Agartha, or that it's natural portal hub. So explaining the concentration of a lot of phenomenons and weird things that go wrong on kind of in that region.
Yeah.
Someone that can be linked to the Mammoth Cave is the man by the name of Stephen Bishop. He was an enslaved man who became one of the most famous early explorers of the caves in the 1800s. Bishop was often the guide for tourists, and it's said that he loved the cave so much that he spent much of his time there becoming very familiar with its deep and remote passages. After his death in 1857, some visitors and staff of the cave began to report seeing his ghost wandering the cave. According to the stories, his spirit is often seen near areas he explored or guided people through. Witnesses have described hearing a deep, distant voice echoing through the cave, sometimes accompanied by the flicker of a lantern. Some accounts also mention that they have felt a presence nearby, as if they are being watched by a figure. Given Bishop's close connection to the cave and his passion for exploring it, many believe his spirit never truly left, continued to guard the cave and its secrets. So, that's just one of the biggest caves with so many different passageways, but I just thought it was cool that they had a little ghost story to go with that cave in particular. A lot of these are conspiracy theories about how caves and tunnels lead to the center of the earth or where cryptids and other creatures live. I just like that this one was just a guy who loved the caves and passed away and now lives there.
Just a dead dude.
Just a ghost.
Argonians,
Nice, plain and
lasers.
simple. Yep.
Yep.
No government conspiracies.
Yeah, nothing too crazy with that.
They
Yeah,
are. It is crazy just how dark they are in those caves.
Oh my gosh,
And
just pitch black.
How you would think noise would travel a long ways in caves, but it really doesn't. So it's like, you get off 420 miles of explored cave. That's insane.
It's crazy. So I was telling Wyatt this story earlier, but we went to, I think it was one of the Missouri caves. They have the Ozarks, all those caves. I was really young, but my best friend growing up, we went with her family and we went into one of the caves and we were walking through and they do a portion, I think they do this with a lot of caves, a portion where they turn all the lights off just so you can see how dark it truly is. And so they shut all the lights off and her dad was a jokester, like he was always funny. So as soon as they shut the lights off, he goes, "Hey, you guys," with the lights all out. Have you ever watched The Goonies?
Yeah.
You have. Yeah. It was gold comedy. Anyways.
Been funny if the lights didn't come back on. I think.
I've been in one where
Just been in
when
there.
they shut the lights off, I was like, "Oh, this is terrifying."
You can't see your hand in
you're
front of
not
your
gonna-
face.
you can't. Like you think you know what dark is until you're in there and they shut all the lights off and it is like actual pitch black.
And it just, you feel dark inside
Yeah,
too. It's
it's
like,
like-
internally you feel the darkness.
It's
scary.
quiet and
That'd be awesome. And this random 1800 slave dude was just like, "Yep, that's where I want to be. I'll hang out down there. Sounds great."
Yep.
Yeah.
It probably did feel good. Probably cool down
I
there.
bet it is cool. Caves are usually pretty
Yeah.
cool.
One of my friends worked at Silver Dollar City over the summer. He did a lot of the cave tour guides, which is the best spot. I feel like, you have to get a lot of steps in, but man, when you get down there, it's 100 and something degrees outside. It's like 70 degrees down there.
Yeah,
It feels
that'd be the
so
job to
good.
have.
Best job to have.
Imagine you lose a kid on one of those, though, man. What do you do?
He wasn't
What do
with
you
us
do?
when we went in.
I'm not looking for him. Oh boy, better get used to. He gonna learn his way out quick. I ain't going for him.
How many
No.
times have you been into cave? Have you been into a lot
I've
of
been
caves?
2 caves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever go with Papa Larry on a day trip? I went to,
cave?
yeah.
You guys just went to caves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel like we went
No, I
to a
don't
couple
think I
caves
don't
with
think I
Papa
would-
Larry.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think Papa ever took me on the regular cave trips. What you guys on? No. I don't think I went on cave. I know one time I went to one of those caves where it's it's like a boat and you've got to it's in water and everybody
the
has
rafts.
to crouch down all the way so that way you can actually make it through the opening or whatever.
Nice.
And I was like, man, that would hate to get stuck under that.
Oh, golly.
Not ideal. But no, I didn't get to go on one of the apparently canon lore Papa Larry cave trip.
I'm sorry for that.
No, it's
That's a
okay.
shame.
You still have time. You still have time.
No.
Yeah.
We're not going.
Give him a call and y'all head up.
I'll make sure that Papa wants to take you on a cave
No,
tour
it's
in the
okay.
summer.
It's okay.
You and
know
Laren,
what?
good old
I
cave
don't-
tour.
I mean, we're too, we may be some, good fighting fellas, but I don't think we're taking the Argonians. It's not happening.
Laren could take him.
It's not happening. His, like, little, I don't know, he may carry like a 1911 down there, but I don't think that takes...
Probably a pocket knife.
Yeah, that ain't taking the
Draconians.
the blaster and the 4,000 megawatt range or whatever. And they ain't doing it.
So our next one is national parks and 411 cases. So with the national parks, 411 is a huge part of that. They're connected with the phenomenon. So people going missing and never being found or seen again. Yeah. So the term was coined by David Paletti, which a lot of you have probably heard of. And a lot of strange disappearances happen in the U.S. national parks. What he found disturbing was that there's no consistent data tracking the missing persons. There's not a lot of transparency from the National Park Service. And then also, most of the cases defy logic. So people vanish within seconds. There's not a trace. They can't find any of their clothing articles. Like, there's no footprint, nothing. And then later, if they are found, some of them are found, some of them are not. They're in very odd or impossible locations, so miles, hundreds of miles away, uphill areas that have been thoroughly searched already. Just very strange things that go along with the cases. And I really love hearing about missing 411 cases because they're so interesting. But anyways, a lot of theories associated with them involve caves or tunnels, so usually caves whenever you're thinking of a national park. But there's a lot of paranormal things tied in, and some of them intersect with caves and underground features. So people who have disappeared in these areas are sometimes thought to have encountered strange entities, cryptids, or even distortions. Some of these theories suggest that caves, especially like naturally occurring or thresholds, they could serve as points where a lot of unusual things can happen so people can vanish. I have just a couple of little example cases. There's the case of Dennis Martin, 1969. Dennis was a 6-year-old boy who disappeared while hiking with his family in the Great Smoky Mountains. Despite extensive searches, no trace of him was ever found, and his case remains unsolved. Some researchers in the 411 case community have speculated that there can be hidden caves or tunnels in the area, which might explain his disappearance. So the idea is that Dennis may have been drawn into a hidden area or cave system where he couldn't be easily found. Another case is of the missing boy Justin Kay in 2003. He was a young boy who vanished while walking in the woods near his home. He disappeared by a well-known cave system nearby. Some researchers have suggested that he might have been abducted by a cryptid or entity living within the caves, a theory that ties into broader speculation about paranormal cases or occurrences linked to caves and missing 411 cases. Clusters of these vanishings occur around regions with known cave systems. A lot of the missing 411 cases are around the Smoky Mountains, Yosemite, Crater Lake, and Mammoth Cave, so the Utah ones as well. A lot of people that go into the conspiracy theories think it's cryptids and stuff, but even if it's not, just having caves with such weird environments in so many areas that have been unexplored, if someone falls into an area or some random entrance into a cave or a tunnel or something that could never be found, like no one's ever going to be able to find their remains. So
I know
even if it's not supernatural.
Yeah, I've seen some caves where it's literally like a small opening at the very
so
top,
tiny,
and then it goes like Empire State Building levels like down.
And there's so many that have never been mapped, or like people have never accessed them or mapped the cave, so they don't even know that it's there at all. So
it's just like,
I could see that with some people that do go missing, just you can't find them. Sad.
It is nuts though. I mean, because how far, unless they're falling, how far deep into the caves are they going before they're like, oh man, I don't really remember how to get out of this one.
I think a lot of people probably don't make it, but the ones who do, I don't even want to think about that. How awful. How awful. That was depressing. Let's move on to the next one. I have lots of cases, so we're going to move on to caves and portals. So are caves portals? It's a good question. What if caves are more than caves? What if they're gateways? From ancient folklore to modern UFO lore, caves have been associated with crossings. So going into another timeline, dimension, another world, they're like seen as a gateway to something else. In Celtic mythology, caves were entrances to the underworld. In native stories, they were sacred places of emergence or danger. In modern reports, we hear about people seeing doorways, distortions, vanishing into thin air near the mouths of caves. A lot of crazy stuff. The cave in the Ozarks. So one of the ones that can be seen as like a portal or something is one in the Ozarks in Missouri. So you might have been to that one. We might have been to that one. There are stories of secret caves and tunnels that connect to distant locations or other parts of the world. One popular belief among some local residents is that these caves were used by ancient Native American civilizations or even early European explorers as hidden passages for trade, travel, or spiritual purposes. Some residents claim to have found caves that are perfectly aligned with certain astronomical events, or that echo strange sounds, leading them to believe that the caves were designed for otherworldly or sacred purposes.
I can't imagine sitting there and being like, oh, you know what? So I know there's this little village over there, and I want to trade some of my furs over there. I think the fastest way to get there is if I crawl through this small hole in the ground. Surely that will lead me faster to my destination.
Yep.
This is a great idea.
It's a portal.
It's a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know.
Or not.
Or not.
Next
or not. I wonder how many like dead people are just sitting in caves that like are like from like the 1600s. I'm just like,
this is the quickest route.
Yeah, they're like, oh, maybe there's gold down there, and they just get sent to the jaws of hell, you know. And that's like where nobody knows.
Yep.
It's the 1600s. They don't even know
that you existed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
it's fair.
There's like 12 people that know you. Okay, and they're all gonna die in 5 years from like the chicken pox. I don't know.
You're just done for.
How many people still get lost in them today?
Just like the missing 411 cases, there probably are so many. So the next one is the Cave of Winds. This is in Colorado. In 2005, a woman named Sarah, hiker and splunker, recounted a peculiar experience while she was exploring a cave system known as the Cave of Winds. This cave, famous for its unique wind formations caused by the movement of air through narrow passages, is located high in the mountains. Her and her group had been on a guided spelunking tour when they encountered a narrow passage that was not part of the usual tour route. As they entered the passage, Sarah claimed to feel a strange sensation of disorientation. The air felt charged as though an electrical current was running through it. As the group moved deeper into the cave, Sarah said she felt as though they were passing through layers of energy, like moving through a portal. The feeling intensified as they reached the farthest point of the cave, where the air seemed to grow still and time itself had slowed down. Sarah recalled that at this point she began to feel disconnected from her surroundings, as if the cave was pulling her into another dimension. She reported hearing distant echoes, voices, and experiencing vivid, surreal flashes of images like visions of places she had never seen. The guide assured the group that this part of the cave had never been explored in detail, which added to Sarah's sense of the unknown. While she believed it was simply a sensory overload, she remained convinced that the cave might have had some kind of mystical portal-like quality.
Or full of gas.
Good chance.
Or just the way that
only this gal.
The way that the wind and air and stuff is just moving in there. Yeah.
I mean, but it sounds like that it's like the mind you, she's down there with like a guide, and she's like, I think it's like I can feel like other presences, and I can see, and like the guy just like, all right, well, let's head on down here and
let's get you some fresh air.
We might have been down here a little too long.
I mean, man, and I can't imagine why are you going on a guided spelunking tour? Isn't the whole point that you're just like adventuring? Why are they?
I don't know.
I guess send the guy that you pay in first, and then
Yeah.
Probably don't need to go down that one.
Nope. It is interesting that they took a route that they wouldn't usually take.
Yeah.
Maybe the guide was bored and just was like, I want to go a different way this time.
Let's go somewhere else. Check it out.
Let's see if this one's gonna get us stuck and killed.
You're paying me though.
Yeah, I get paid anyway. So.
So next, and you guys kind of mentioned this earlier, is the mole people of New York.
Yeah.
Something so cool about mole people. So underneath the streets of New York City, there's a myth of mole people. In the 1990s, a journalist by the name of Jennifer Toth published The Mole People, claiming that vast communities lived in the city's abandoned subway lines, tunnels, and old sewer systems. These weren't just squatters. They were self-governed, hidden societies cut off from the rest of the world. They were rumors of levels that you could go deeper and the stranger it gets. So levels of the mole people, the deeper you go, the stranger they look. Basically, they were pale, blind humans, people who couldn't look. They didn't look human.
Yeah.
With this, subway workers who have been familiar with the city's underground world sometimes told stories of encountering mysterious people or having unusual occurrences happen in the tunnels. Some of these stories include reports of people appearing out of nowhere in abandoned stations or hearing strange noises. In some cases, these accounts have been exaggerated or distorted into the idea of mole people living apart from society. Basically, New York City has a significant population of homeless individuals. It's true that some people have sought refuge in the subway system, abandoned stations, and other underground areas. In the mid-20th century, there were reports of people living in the tunnels or in disused spaces. These people weren't necessarily mole people in the mythical sense, but they were often isolated and lived in conditions that were difficult to imagine for most city dwellers. So they would kind of stay in little communities to survive. So pretty much people were just making fun of homeless people.
This kind of just sounds like regular New Yorkers.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of folk out there.
Which a lot of people argue. They say that officers and MTA workers confirmed unusual encounters whenever they're doing zones of the subway, like that are off limits. Mm-hmm. But still kind of sad that more than likely it's just
probably just some,
it's just homeless people
that some freaky homeless people that
they could be on drugs or other substances, or they could just be trying to make it.
Yeah, or just so like just away from society at this point that they're just kind of like.
And they do, like, if you are in your own little community and you need to be around other people, like,
whenever
to survive.
You know, everybody's kind of like been like, oh man, you a homeless guy for like 20 years, and you're just like, you know, only around other homeless people. You're probably not the best people person. So.
No. Mm-mm. Our next one is Mount Shasta. So this is the beacon of the inner world. On the surface, Mount Shasta is in Northern California. It's a dormant volcano, but in the world of mystics, it's a powerful center of spiritualism. There's legends about a city beneath it. Telos said to be surviving colony of the Lemurian. So this is also added to the Lemuria. Everything people tie back, I feel like, try to make their story sound a little bit more realistic.
Just add it to the lore, you know what I mean? Just be like, oh yeah.
So a lot of people have seen orbs, tall beans, and white robes, things like that. A man named J.C. Brown in the late 1800s was a prospector, and he discovered an entrance to the underground city near the base of Mount Shasta. He stumbled upon a hidden cavern and found lots of artifacts, ancient, including massive stone tablets and intricate carvings. He made several trips to this underground realm, but eventually told local authorities they tried to keep him quiet about his findings. Mm-hmm. Some modern-day followers of the Shasta Interworld legend consider Brown's story to be a key piece of the mystery. He went to this cave and he witnessed all these things, got these artifacts, and a lot of authorities told, like, shut him down. Mm-hmm. Explorers claim to see strange people entering the hidden cave's mouth high on its peak. Modern visitors still speak of visions, missing time, and dreams of cities made of crystal. Mount Shasta.
And nobody thought to take a picture?
Nope. But it's in Lemuria. It's Lemuria, though.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. Because cameras do not work in Lemuria.
Yeah. Nope. Mm-mm. You wouldn't take your camera to Lemuria. It's a spiritual experience.
It's spiritual. Yep. And plus, I need to make money off of you listening to my story.
Our next one is the underground city of the Panamints. So Panamint, Berkeley published accounts from Death Valley miners who say that they stumbled upon a lost underground city called Panamint. They describe massive stone halls, mummified giants, hieroglyphics, and even mechanical doors that vanished into the rock. One story told of a desert storm opening a crack in the earth. The miners entered, but only one came out, and the rest were never seen again. One of the most famous story.
A cave collapse.
Yeah. William Billy Burke was supposedly found in an underground labyrinth while mining in the area. He and his party reported discovering a lot of underground chambers with strange markings on the wall, artifacts, and just suggestions of an advanced civilization. After several failed attempts to return and explore further, they never found the entrance again. Just like our old boy at the Skinwalker Ranch. It was right there.
I promise.
It was right there. I promise.
Where did it go? Now that all the people that can actually prove what I'm saying are here, that we can't find it.
Strange how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Well, news reporters, I could have sworn it was right here, but anyway.
Here's the problem: is it's a bunch of men going. They need a mom. They need a mom to come,
and she'll figure
and
out
she'll
where it
find
is.
where it is.
But you left the cave entrance right here
Yeah,
It's right there.
when you come in last night.
it's always been there.
Oh my god.
Open your eyes. If you look right in front of you.
Most of these people are probably just lying, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because, I mean, we haven't... If there's all these underground cities, we haven't found, like, one we can go to.
Yeah.
There's not... Like, you know how much...
They found them, Mason.
I
It's just
know.
they can't find them a second time.
No, it's just...
you
as
get
soon
to
as
find
they
it
go,
once.
Yeah.
That's all
they're
you
just
get.
really good
Yeah.
at hiding their cave entrances, apparently.
The
This
second time, you
ancient, you know...
You either
entire
go and
civilization.
stay. You either go and stay there forever, or you go and you never get to go back.
All right, I'm just saying, a Disney World would be crazy down there, and we have, you know,
And a Buc-ee's and
you know.
Oh, a
so we
Buc-ee's?
would've- I think it would have been a lot more profitable if we just set some stuff up down there. But
True.
that's why I think these people are lying. There's way too much investment opportunity. in
Yeah,
this thing.
I agree. Lots of ways to make money.
I mean, come on now.
So we just have a few more. Next one is Nevada. This is the Lovelock Cave Giants. So in Nevada, there is an ancient cave that once held mummified remains of people over 8 feet tall with red hair and elongated skulls. The
Do you think they were
local
bad boys?
the local tribes tell of a race that was supposed to be giant cannibalistic beings driven into the caves and burned alive by the tribes. When archaeologists excavated the cave, they found strange artifacts and massive bone fragments. Some of these bones disappeared and others were quietly stored away, who knows where.
Yeah, we found a
House.
bunch of cool stuff, but
nobody
we
gets
came
to
back
look
and
at
it's
it.
all gone. I don't know what happened. Anyway,
My thought is that it's Bigfoot. Some people
yes.
make a Bigfoot connection. Some people are like, no, they're not related to Bigfoot or anything. But a lot of people say this is proof of an ancient race that once ruled the West.
it's
Probably Bigfoot though.
So like a regular civilization took out a bunch of 8-foot tall like cannibals.
Native tribes sent them into a cave and burned them, supposedly.
Probably albino Neanderthals or something.
They just sent a couple fellas out there and we're like, well,
Well, they
them
were
in the
redheads.
cave.
So they
Redheads.
burned a bunch of gingers. 7-foot gingers.
Good riddance.
can you blame 'em?
So my last two are in Appalachia. So there's the moon-eyed people and then also the black-eyed miner children. These are mostly caves.
How
Mines.
do all these different races of people? They all like share the underground.
I think so.
There's some like
It's a heck of a melting pot
yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
I mean, they sound more diverse than us. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we need to learn from them.
The moon-eyed people, the black-eyed children, the
Yeah.
lizard people, the
I mean, sounds like they've got it made down there. Maybe we need to start migrating.
so there's a pale race called the Moon Eye people, and they were small, they had large blue eyes, and they could only come out at night because the sunlight blinded them. Cherokee are actually the ones that talk about them. Not long ago, possibly, they had them drove out into the deep cave systems. So kind of similar to the, Lovelock Cave Giants. Another native tribe, shoved these people into the cave. So the moon-eyed people got shoved into the caves. When early European settlers arrived, they came across stories about the moon-eyed people on accounts from the 19th century. They also talked about finding mysterious stone structures, carvings in caves. The settlers were told that these structures were built by the moon-eyed people, so long before the Cherokee. Some settlers claimed to have found remains of these people, but no physical evidence was ever confirmed. Some link them to Welsh explorers, others to the mythical underground world. Caves in North Carolina and Georgia carry stories of these elusive beings. So some people think they still see them in the woods.
That's pretty cool.
Opposite of the moon-eyed people, pale, these are the black-eyed miner children. So their eyes are completely black. And these are some little creepy kids with pitch black demon eyes who show up at your door asking if they can come inside.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot of
Can't
black-eyed...
put these guys in caves either.
Yeah, I'm telling you. There's a lot of black-eyed children's stories, and I think it'd be fun to do an episode on them because they are very creepy. But these are specifically traced back to coal mining towns in Appalachia and Pennsylvania. So miners spoke of encountering children in the mines with pale black-eyed features, and they weren't quite human. They look human, but at first, whenever you notice them, it's almost kind of normal until you realize that their eyes are black. Some versions trace the legend back to coal mining towns. Texas tin was also another place. So Texas tin was found nowhere in the U.S. except for a mine in El Paso. They started digging in 1909, but after all the tin was extracted, they abandoned it in 1915. A gatherer of wanderers entered the mine to explore it, but witnessed a black-eyed girl walking towards them. She followed them around the entire mine, screamed the names of family members into the gathering. So she was screaming out the names of their family members.
And they just kept going.
So they soon left afterwards. They left afterwards because they couldn't explore while she was around.
I mean, what? I was just yelling at, oh, great Aunt Bethy! If we just keep walking.
And she just ignore everybody, pretend like she's not there.
Maybe she'll go away.
Creepy.
But I want to look at the back of this cave.
Yeah, yeah. We need to get to the back of this mine. It's ASAP.
We'll leave this girl down here.
A lot of the times they appear during disasters, cave-ins, or just before deadly collapses. So almost as like a warning sign, I think. Sometimes they just watch. So either it's as a warning before something bad happens, or they're just watching the terrible event happen. Some say they're left behind from another world beneath the coal seams. Very creepy, though. It's creepy that they can be both like a warning sign and just something scary.
Malicious that wants to get into your home. And
that was the last of them, though. So a lot of interesting conspiracy theories with caves and tunnels. Caves and tunnels are not playgrounds. Keep that in mind. Or mines. Avoid all of those things. Thank you so much for joining us in today's episode. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. We want to hear from you. Leave us your topic ideas in the comments or find our email in the description box below. Send us your scary stories. Find us here on YouTube or Spotify. Next time on the Fear and Flame podcast.
Drop a like, drop a subscription, hit that 5-star on Spotify. Thank you for watching another wonderful, wonderful episode of Fear and Flame podcast. I've been Mason. That's Wyatt over there.
What?
Brooklyn.